Hello children. Today we are going to discuss the achievements of United Nations of Organization. There are mainly three achievements of UNO, and that the first important is peacekeeping achievement. Children, since 1945, after the establishment of UNO, it has tried to maintain peace between each and every country of the world by solving the conflicts which has arisen between the many parts of the world, like the crisis which has arisen at the Suez Canal, Iran, Indonesia, Palestine, Korea, Hungary, Congo, Kashmir, Cyprus, Arab Israel, Namibia, Afghanistan, and many more crises as well. Like many conflicts whichever has arisen in the past of the world, it has been resolved by United Nations of Organization, either with the help of their powerful organ, that is Security Council, or with their judicial body, which is known as International Court of Justice. If take one of an example of Suez Canal, children, in the ancient time there was an incident at the Suez Canal where many of the French and British troops have entered at the Suez Canal, but United Nations of Organization has resolved this problem by vacating those troops from the Suez Canal, that is for the purpose of maintenance of peace. But along with this, United Nations of Organization is also struggling a lot for the purpose of disarmament and nuclear disarmament. What exactly this disarmament means? Disarmament is nothing but the elimination or the removal of specific or particular arms and ammunitions or guns or bombs from a particular country. If these disarmament is going to come into effect in each and every country of the world, then there will be no any particular production of arms and ammunitions into a country. But every country is not accepting to remove the full disarmament, because they require some arms and ammunitions from the attack or any external aggression by any other country of the world. For their own protection, they require some arms and ammunition, but fully disarmament is impossible. Little bit or a part of disarmament can be implemented into a country for the purpose of maintenance of peace into the world. Not only this one, but United Nations of Organization has also worked for the maintenance of peace by the protection of human rights and world peace. Children, human rights has been compulsory declared by UNO to all the members of United Nations of Organization. As you know, all the 193 members of UNO has to accept and formulate the human rights, where human rights has been declared by UNO on 10th of December 1948. Since then, every year on 10th December, we are celebrating the Human Rights Day. What is the reason why this human rights has been declared by UNO? Because everyone should get justice and security into their country, but there should not be any kind of discrimination into the world. This is being maintained for the purpose of maintenance of peace into the world. The second important achievement of UNO is economic and financial achievement. Children, the third important organ of UNO, that is Economic and Social Committee, which has totally 54 members. Today, they are working just to remove the problem of economic and finance of each and every country. There is an agreement which has been brought by this Economic and Social Committee in the name of GATT, which is known as General Agreement on Tariff and Trade. This GATT, it is an agreement which has been made just for the purpose of reducing tariff, which is known as tax on international trade. It is being done just for the motivation of trade or business between each and every country of the world. And along with this, for the economic and financial achievement, there is one more important program which has been brought by United Nations of organization, that is known as United Nations Development Program. Children, presently UNDP is supporting to more than 4,800 projects, and the objective which is there of this 4,800 projects is to reduce poverty and to promote good governance, and it is also addressing the crisis in the environment which is being created. And with this, children, for the economic and financial achievement, the support is being given by three important organizations of UNO. The one important which is known as WTO, that is being expanded as World Trade Organization, and the one more is known as IMF, which is termed as International Monetary Fund, and the one more important financial institution which is there of the world, that is known as IBRD, which is called as International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. The next important achievement of United Nations of organization is social achievement. Children, for the purpose of social achievement, United Nations of organization has declared the fundamental rights for each and every country which has been mandated. These fundamental rights has been mandated for each and every country from 10th of December 1948. Since then, every year on 10th of December, we are celebrating the Human Rights Day. This human rights has been assured by United Nations. Just there should not be any illegal activity, there should not be any discrimination among the individuals. And with this, United Nations has assured every individual will be provided equality, and they will also be provided the proper security into their nation. And along with these children, in the world there were many other social problems as well, which has been eradicated by United Nations of organization. The one important major social problem which was known as apartheid or racial discrimination. Apartheid or racial discrimination is nothing but one race which is there. One race means one color people will try to dominate on another race for their selfish purpose, where this kind of racial discrimination, it was more in America as well as in Africa, where white people were trying to dominate on black people. But one eminent person from Africa, who was known as African Gandhi, he is being named with Nelson Mandela, has tried to eradicate this apartheid from the whole world. And this racial discrimination has been eradicated when there was a group of people who has supported to Nelson Mandela. And along with this, the two other major problems which are there, in that the one which is there, that is known as colonialism, and the one more is known as imperialism. you know United Nations has played a very important decisive role for the eradication of these two major problems also. Colonialism, it was a practice of acquiring full or partial political control over another country by the ancient rulers. It was being aimed with the exploiting economically for the countries of the world, where this kind of colonialism, it was being adopted by the Britishers for the purpose of governing the whole country in the terms of economic gains. And the one more which is there, that is known as imperialism. Children, already we have discussed about imperialism in the previous classes. Imperialism is nothing but one sovereign country will try to govern or rule on another sovereign country. It is being done for the purpose of suppression, where you can see in the picture England or Britain or UK, it was trying to rule or govern on many other countries of the world, like Canada, like India, Egypt, and even though many more countries as well, where United Nations of organization has tried to resolve these problem for the purpose of maintaining social achievement into the world. But children, three important organization has tried to maintain the proper social achievement into the world by providing few important social facilities. The one important, that is known as WHO, which is being expanded as World Health Organization. It is always working for the eradication of the major epidemics whatever are there in the world, and the some of a major epidemics has also been removed by this WHO as well, like smallpox, malaria, dengue, and even though AIDS, etc., etc. And along with this, the second important organization, that is known as UNESCO, which is known as United Nations Educational and Scientific Cultural Organization. This UNESCO aims is to develop education and culture in the whole world, and for the development of children and women as well. And the next important, that is known as UNICEF, which is expanded as United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. you know Children, UNICEF is presently working for the development of children all over the world who are coming under the poor background. It is funding them for the purpose of their financial development, where this UNICEF has a earning which is being done by the way of selling of greeting cards all over the world, and the profit whatever is being earned by UNICEF, they will distribute it for the development of children and women all over the world. And along with this, the next important what we are going to learn today, that is the various organizations of United Nations of organization. Children, there are many important organizations which are there of the world. In that, the first important organization which is there, that is known as FAO, which is expanded as Food and Agriculture Organization. And the second important which is there, that is known as WHO, that is World Health Organization. Third important, UNESCO, which is known as United Nations Educational and Scientific Cultural Organization. And the fourth one is UNICEF, which is expanded as United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund. And the fifth one is IMF, which is expanded as International Monetary Fund. And sixth one is IBRD, that is International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And seventh one is, that is ILO, which is known as International Labor Organization. And the eighth, which is there, that is UNO's Trade and Commerce Progress Committee, which is also being known as UNCTAD as well, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. And the last one, which is there, that is WTO, which is known as World Trade Organization. Among this, we are going to learn the first important, that is known as FAO, which is known as Food and Agricultural Organization. Children, Food and Agriculture Organization, first of all, it was being established or founded in October 1945, where the headquarter which is there of this organization, it is at Rome, which is there in Italy. And children, this FAO has three subdivisions under it. One division which is handling the conference of FAO, and one more division, that is the committee division, which is conducting committees of FAO, and one more division which is there of the head of FAO, that is the director generals, where the present director general of this FAO is Q Dongyu. Children, there are some major aims which are there of Food and Agricultural Organization. Among that, the first important aim of FAO is development of agriculture. Children, in each and every country, the major occupation which is there, that is the agriculture itself. Even though the primary occupation which is there of our India, that is agriculture only, where major population, out of 100%, 65% of population of our India is also dependent upon agriculture itself. And FAO is aiming at the development of this agriculture sector in each and every country of the world. And the second important aim which is there, that is known as providing nutritious food. Children, presently the life expectancy in each and every country is degrading just because of the consumption of non-nutritious food. But this FAO is aiming to provide nutritious or good qualitative food in each and every country of the world. Children, the highest life expectancy which is there presently in the world, that is of Australia, which is 81 years 9 months. It is just because they are consuming more nutritious or good qualitative food in their country. But in our India, the life expectancy is near to 65 year 8 months, because our consumption of food is in the non-nutritious form. We are not consuming the good qualitative food in our country. Due to this, the life expectancy which is there in our country, it is totally low. And the third important which is there, that is known as creation of hunger free communities. Children, it is also aiming to create hunger free in each and every country of the world by the supply of food with the help of the government at each and every area. Due to this, presently the government which is there, it is aiming to provide meals at the affected areas, or meals at the schools as well. And the fourth important aim which is there, it is trying to reform the life of rural people. Children, the life of rural people is totally outdated, or it is in the old form, where this FAO is trying to reform or change the settlement of rural areas. And the next important organization which is there, that is known as WHO, which is known as World Health Organization. Children, World Health Organization, it is established, or it was established on 1948. And this WHO is being headquartered at Geneva, which is there in Switzerland. And this aims at the improvements of proper health in the whole world. And presently, WHO is struggling a lot for the removal of whichever diseases are there in the world. Presently, there is a tension which is going on in the world in regard to the pandemic which is being arise, that is of coronavirus. Even though World Health Organization is working a lot for the removal of this pandemic which is being arise presently into the world. And along with these children, there were many major diseases whatever were there into the world, it has been removed by this World Health Organization only. And children, there were some major diseases which has been eradicated by this WHO only. You can see in the picture, like some of the major diseases like plague, cholera, malaria, and smallpox. All these major diseases whatever were there into the world, it has been removed by this WHO itself. And presently it is also aiming to free the world from AIDS and cancer as well, where the head or director general of WHO is struggling a lot for the removal of this AIDS, cancer, and coronavirus. The head of this WHO is Tedros Adhanom, and the long form of AIDS is known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome.